welcome to Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as can be in just about 20 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello. With me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing good. This is one of my favorite shows that we've done at this point now. We did one of these to conclude the year last year. We're going to do it again this year. It's a year.
See, that's the difference between us, Jeff.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it's one of my least favorite shows.
Really? Oh, that makes me sad.
Well, there's such great things that we're going to talk about being excited for. I'm somebody that doesn't do change very well. So the beginning of the show is a rough part for me.
Well, and I remember that last time we did this too. But for those folks that didn't necessarily catch it, you can kind of go back and listen to it to see how close we were. This show is all about goodbyes, but more importantly about hellos. It's talking about the things that we're going to say goodbye to at the end of 2021. And in my opinion, more importantly, the things that we're going to say hello to in 2022.
It is, but the first goodbye on our list is a killer to me.
Well, that's why you put it there, because you want to get it out of the way first. We'll address it right off the bat. The first goodbye that we have to formally address here is Illuminations, the long-time running show that I know you were just completely enamored with. We did have to say goodbye to in this particular year. It's been a while now, though. So
we knew it was coming. I was there the night they brought it back. I was there its very last showing. I couldn't even tell you with any kind of accuracy the exact number of times I've seen Illuminations, but live in person is over 100 without a doubt. If I'm there for 2 or 3 days on business and we only have one free night and there's only one opportunity, it's Illuminations.
You're like that groupie that follows the band, only it was for Illuminations. Well, listen,
it was a tough one. We did say goodbye to Illuminations and welcomed Harmonious.
Well, I think it's worth having that little dialogue about, because everything that we say goodbye to, somebody has that kind of a connection to, right? It's not just necessarily you or me that feels this way. We said goodbye to Illuminations. Somebody might feel that same way, even though it didn't run as long, of Happily Ever After that departed, right? That was the first show on the castle that I ever saw with my kids. So to me, that has a very specific meaning in my life, but it may not have much meaning to somebody else. That's just the way that it goes.
And again, I don't do change. I'm still mourning the loss of Wishes.
Oh, you're still mourning the loss of the soil that existed before they broke ground on the Grand Floridian, Sandy. So I don't know that we can possibly.
They can have that, but my fireworks shows are near and dear to me.
That's fair. All right.
As is, I'll segue to the next near and dear thing to my heart. It's shopping, and we had to say goodbye to Mouse Gear.
Yeah,
and
that one didn't bother me as much.
Gift shop at Epcot. I just can't seem to spend the same amount of money in creations.
Something tells me that with all the change that's coming to Epcot, they're going to figure out a way to put more retail shops in there to separate us from what's in our wallet. I'm not all that worried about that.
Yeah, and you know what? I certainly didn't leave creations with no bags.
No.
That would be unheard of. My family would have me checked in for psychological evaluation. So
well,
it's all good.
Speaking of bags, a different kind of bags, we are saying goodbye to Disney's Magical Express at the end of this year, which has been around for a significant amount of time at this point. So as you know, I've mentioned this to you. I've mentioned it on the show. It is something that I will miss. There will be something that does replace it. You will have other options. But as far as the elimination of travel friction as a Disney planned feature to your vacation.
I think you're missing a key word there, Jeff.
Sure.
The elimination of free.
Yes, that's right.
Friction.
That's
free. It was the key word
fair.
there.
That's very fair. Well, you said
because there is a good substitute. Mears Connect is coming in 2022. And for those of you that didn't know, while the buses said Magical Express and they looked like Disney, they were run by a third party, Mears Shuttles. So Mears will continue to operate that same service The outside of the bus is going to change. I think the video inside is going to change. The price tag is going to change, but that service is going to be available with just minor tweaks for those who still want it.
So if you go all the way back to show 14, we had discussed the NBA experience, and being a basketball fan, I had some pretty in-depth knowledge of the relationship the NBA and Disney had. So we talked about that. You can go back and listen to that, but unfortunately, you won't be able to go and experience the NBA experience because we said goodbye to that this year.
We did, and you said earlier that everything that leaves brings something new. I will put it out there for all of our listeners. We don't know yet. Right now, it's a big empty space, and for those of you going, yeah, it hasn't been there that long, think back, go all the way back in your mind. That is the former home of Disney Quest.
Right.
So who knows? It's definitely been an area that's given people a rainy day option, an active option. Hopefully we'll see something unique in there.
Well, let's say our final goodbye, and I'll let you take it. It's also at Disney Springs.
La Nuba, the Cirque du Soleil show, and you can't miss that Cirque Theater. It is very distinctive looking. La Nuba closed during the pandemic, and Drawn to Life has just recently premiered. And I'm excited to be going to see it because I have to be honest, I wasn't always a huge Cirque fan. I'm a big Broadway girl, and I like storyline. And it took a bit on that storyline for La Nuba for me. But Drawn to Life is Cirque du Soleil meets Disney animation. So definitely a promising thing for everybody.
All right, so we've said our goodbyes. It's now to say our hellos. We're going to run these down. There's just so many things. So I'm going to do my best to kind of keep us on pace here because I do want to get to everything. But let's start with the parks, and I think you can't start with anything other than the most immersive experience that Disney has done, maybe to date, and that is the Galactic Star Cruiser.
It is definitely the most immersive to date, and well, I know the Imagineers always come up with things that are mind-blowing to me. I think this is going to be that bright light for a long time. The Galactic Star Cruiser, a cross between a hotel, a cruise, an immersive experience, 2-night stays, can't come shorter, can't come longer. Everybody boards the Star Cruiser at the same time. It's also going to be our only hotel that's valet parking only because you can't take your car to outer space with you. In the hotel itself, you're going to have planned activities just like we do on a cruise ship. And then it kind of does double with a park experience because you get transported again as that small group from the Galactic Cruiser over to Batu and into Galaxy's Edge. This is the place to go if you want lightsaber training, if you want to play Sabak, if you want to play with your droids and have a droid battle. Lots of options. And I'm really thinking what we're going to see come out of there is huge cosplay. They're encouraging you to dress up if you so choose, but there's also opportunities to be the more casual observer. It is also the smallest resort that we have on property. So a unique, limited experience. And I can't wait to share more with you come springtime.
I have friends that the words Star Wars fans don't properly define what they are. And for those folks that from when they were small children had dreamed about entering into this world, the fact that they get to do that, I've never seen more grown people be so excited for a particular venture. So a lot of information to come. I'm sure a tremendous amount of pictures that will be rolling out over the next year. Really, really looking forward to it. Let's segue over to Epcot. What do we have coming this year in Epcot?
The long-awaited Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is coming. And unfortunately, COVID put it behind schedule. If you've been to Epcot over the past 2-ish years, you've seen it coming, that big building right on the left as you enter Epcot. And everybody is excited for all of those thrills.
Summer of 2022 is what we're looking at, correct?
That is what we're hearing. And again, I always caution people, Disney gives these vague things. Summer to me means June or early July. Summer to Disney could mean July, could mean August, could mean Labor Day, which is officially the end of summer. So don't plan on a June 1st trip and thinking you're definitely getting Guardians. You might get lucky, but you might not.
So as I've been speaking with friends that are traveling to Walt Disney World, I've talked about Epcot being under construction. And one of the things that's coming is Moana Journey of Water. And if you've seen any of the artist rendition of it, it really looks really cool. Talk to us a little bit about what we know or maybe what we don't know, what we should expect as this comes to be.
I'm excited for it. One of the things that when I see it, and there's pictures for artist renderings, but also in Epcot, in the Odyssey, they have a 3D model and videos that you can watch if you're in the park of the transformation. And that Moana area just looks incredibly tranquil. So when your kids or maybe even your spouse is kind of hit your last nerve with their request for another churro or another Dole Whip, or they don't want to be where you're heading next, this is going to be the spot where you can kind of go get your Zen on. And the kids, if you're there in summer and it's hot, they'll be able to jump through some jumping waters, cool off, get some energy out, and have a lot of fun. So I can't wait to see it.
One of the things, I mean, you had talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind taking a long time. One of the things that I'm excited about that I've seen that's, in my opinion, been taking a long time too, is the Tron Light Cycle Run.
It is taking a long time. And I think part of why we also feel like it's taking a long time is I think it's unique in that you can literally watch the construction. You know, Guardians, you see the building, but you don't know what's going on inside. It was the same when we saw Remy's Ratatouille. You know, the building went up. We could even see the sign, but you didn't know. With the light cycle, it's part indoor, part outdoor. And so we're literally watching that building go up and the outdoor track and all of the different work on it. So I think it's also going to be the biggest teaser attraction that we're ever going to see, because we're going to get to see those cars ride that track way before it's ready for people.
And for those folks that haven't seen it, that haven't been there, as I saw this thing rise into the sky, it's really, really impressive. And it's really, really fun to look at. And if you have little ones like I do, as you're waiting online for Goofy's Barnstormer, you're literally right next to it. So you can't avoid it as you're about to get online. So really, really cool.
And of course, the People Mover gives you a great view of it as well. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, how could we not mention the People Mover? Not going away, by the way, staying. So that's good. What's next?
Hey, Disney. D23 conference a couple of weeks ago gave us some insight into 2022. And those of you that love talking to Siri, something tells me she's getting replaced in your house with the new Hey Disney. We're going to see all of the clocks in the resorts replaced, and they are being replaced with the Hey Disney unit. So again, just like you call Siri, you can call out to Hey Disney. In the resorts, she can be your alarm clock. She can tell you what time are the fireworks tonight? Where can I meet Moana? And then you're going to have the opportunity to get a Hey Disney at home to interact in many of the same ways that you would use Google or Siri. But hey, it's got mouse ears. It's way cooler.
Which is really all that we're interested in. We had talked about the magic bands on a couple of shows. We had talked about the transition to the cell phone and the mobile applications, which is why it was interesting to me when they rolled this out. We're getting a revamping of the Magic Band in 2022.
And I'm excited because I'm a big Magic Band fan. I know I'm better about being on my phone for things than Jeff, but I find that the phone is not as easy. You know, it's kind of like at the airport. If you've got 3 little kids plus you and you've got those 4 boarding passes and you're constantly swiping to get everybody, it's a pain. Everybody can ding their own Magic Band. The kids love to make their own beep and light up. So we're going to see the premiere of Magic Band Plus. Again, we saw a prototype of it, kind of a little bit less Magic Bandy to me, a little bit more Apple Watch looking with that screen. So again, I think it's looking to deliver more content to you. And super exciting, they have never had Magic Bands in Disneyland, and they're coming.
Very
Yay!
cool. Very cool. People on the West Coast are now just rejoicing. Just very,
Yes.
very happy that they get in on the fun. Talk to us about some old experiences that may be coming back.
So I'm going to use that word favorite again.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parades is coming back. The Main Street Electric Light Parade will debut back in its original home in Disneyland in 2022. World of Color coming back to California Adventure. Fantasmic coming back on both coasts. Fairy Tale Hall is recently reopened in the Magic Kingdom. We're going to see Indiana Jones coming back in Hollywood Studios, and of course the Festival of Fantasy Parade in Magic Kingdom. So exciting to see all of those equity actors and performers coming back. And at some point in 2022, we have been promised a revamp of Nemo the Musical and a reopening of that stage.
Well, and it's been all over the place that they are doing some sort of rewrites for that show too. So if you are interested, if you are a Nemo fan, I don't know that that'll be the exact show that we've seen in the past, but it will be some type of show that may be tweaked to come back. Really, really awesome to hear the things that you just described, though, that our equity actors do get to come back. They did such a tremendous job for many, many years making our experiences dynamic and magical. Very, very happy for them and thrilled for us as well to see them.
And you all know that I love when Crush does that little forward roll suspended. I encourage you, if you're new to the show, go back to episode 58. In our Cast Chronicles, we interviewed Katie Keith, who was a performer in Finding Nemo the Musical, and hear about what goes on backstage there. It's really a treat.
All right, so let's segue from the land to the sea. What are we getting with Disney Cruise Line in 2022?
Everything that is going to blow our mind in the Disney Wish. They have announcement after announcement that's come out, and we still know there are spots of the ship that we don't know about. But the Disney Wish, the 5th ship in the fleet, is set to debut in June. It will be sailing out of Port Canaveral, Florida. So a great easy add-on from Walt Disney World. And again, this ship just has so many new and incredible things, from the Arendelle dining room to the Marvel dining room to the kids club they can enter by a slide out of the atrium, adult dining areas, kids zones. We are really excited to be bringing this ship on, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to talk to you in June, Jeff, when we give you our firsthand account and run down everything extra magical.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure that we will be among the first to have some sort of reaction to what the ship looks like, because true to form, you will definitely be there to usher it in and to let us know what it is. Let's talk a little bit about, in my opinion, where a lot of this magic all begins, and that's on the screen. We're going to have a lot of different movies kind of roll out in 2022 that we know of. There'll be plenty of things that hit that we don't necessarily know of. Disney Plus has changed the game completely. Let's talk about a couple of movies, not all of them, just a couple of them that have struck our fancy, so to speak, that we're expecting in 2022.
You bet. And I think part of why the movies, even though it's obviously its own division, is so integral to what we do, is it typically is the basis for new characters joining us in the park, new attractions, new experiences on the Disney Cruise Line. And I think in March, we're going to meet in the parks, is my guess. Mei, M-E-I, she is a 13-year-old girl who is transformed into a giant red panda whenever she gets excited or super stressed. And listen, we all know what the pandemic has done to us as adults. We know how it's impacted our children. And it's really I'm sure going to be an incredible story delivered to us, of course, by our friends at Pixar, all about facing strong emotion and finding skills to cope. Who can't use that right now? I mean, we know Inside Out transformed how counselors could deal with children, and children could really relate and talk about those characters and feel safe. I think Me is going to bring us a lot of that. And what don't you love about a giant red panda? And then the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got all of our friends coming to us from the Marvel Universe. May is going to bring a new Doctor Strange movie, July, a new Thor movie, November, Black Panther, and a very long-awaited next installment to Avatar is due out in December 2022.
So if you're a Marvel fan, you had mentioned just those couple that are right there. You are really looking at just a tremendous opportunity here that Disney Plus has bridged the gap. It's a really, really great time to be a fan of that intellectual property that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to see where they're taking it. And to top off the year, as you said there, with what feels like we've been waiting forever for the latest installment of Avatar. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's obviously the first time that they're going to release an Avatar film after they've built Pandora at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So we'll see what kind of tie-ins happen there. From a movie perspective, 2022 has just lined itself up to be really dynamic. I'm looking forward to it as a movie guy.
It should be awesome. And I will say, if you don't know this already, all of the Disney Cruise Line ships have a movie theater. And when any Disney, Marvel, Pixar movie is premiering, it will premiere in the theater at midnight. So typically hours before anybody in the continental U.S. can see it. And it's free.
Well, a lot of change, a lot of goodbyes, in my opinion, a lot of really exciting hellos. Anything that you want to leave the audience with tonight before we wrap it up?
You know, as much as I hate to kind of go back there, we've been through an unprecedented year and a half. And I really think when hopefully we're lucky enough to be coming to all of you at this time next year, talking about all the hellos, we're going to see so much coming to us in 2022 as the world reopens and all the Imagineers are back at work and everybody is open and experiencing things. So I think we've got a great year ahead, and I can't wait to see all these things.
Part of what makes living through difficult times bearable is that when the sun sets on them, you know that the new day does bring some really, really exciting things. And Disney is near and dear to my heart. I know it's near and dear to yours. And I'm looking forward to what 2022 can bring to hopefully turn the page on what's been a really scary and troublesome pandemic experience and open it up with just some magic, because I think that we deserve that, and I know this company is prepared to bring it to us. And I look forward to talking about it with you. So, Sandy, thanks for taking the time tonight, and have a great week.
Thanks, Jeff. You too.
And that's a wrap this week on Let's Talk Diz. If anyone you know could benefit from this or any show, please share, have them like, and subscribe. And don't forget to reach out to the folks at Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination planning. Make it a great week. And as always, keep making memories.